Welcome to the Warren Cycling Podcast. My name is Dean Warren. I'm in Sarasota, Florida today.
And I'm Randy Warren, and I'm in Italy. No, I'm in Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville, North Carolina, Sarasota, Florida, all the good action those going on in Italy and in France. And over the weekend, a race finished up in Hungary, which we should talk about as well. It's the Warren Cycling Podcast, episode 355. We're recording today on May 14th. We had a little bit of an effort to try to record on the 12th, but it just didn't pan out. Their Mother's Day, birthday day recording, and I'd want to remember the birthday list because I wanted to start out with birthdays that day because it was your birthday. But so you just celebrated your birthday a couple of days ago, and I did remember a couple of the other riders also on the 12th on your birthday. I don't know if you remember. I don't think we've ever done a podcast on your birthday, but Joaquim Rodriguez was celebrating his birthday on the 12th, as well as Joe Dombrowski and Isaiah Newkirk as well, one of Taylor's former teammates.
Who's running a team now? Is it Team does he run
Project
now?
Echelon.
Actually, he's a director sportif, right?
Project Echelon has had a pretty good calendar this year, and they will be one of the best American-based teams racing at the new one-day race in conjunction with the New York Grand Fondo. I already forgot the name.
They don't have the riders doing nationals this year, so.
Well, they must be divided. I mean, they've got quite a few riders. They don't have what I would say they're heavy hitters racing in New York at the new one-day UCI race. The only UCI race going to happen this year in the United States, as the Maryland one-day Classic has been postponed for a year due to the bridge collapse in Baltimore and the ensuing issues maybe with the traffic and
Well, I heard it was because they took the funding that they were going to spend on the race and they diverted it to bridge work or something like that. So
I read they were secure in all their funding and that it wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they were playing, that they're very confident it'll be again in 2025.
Right. It wasn't a matter of them not having funding for it. It's just that they had funding for it this year, but I didn't read about it extensively. But I thought they said that they used the money that they were going to use probably for like road closures and things like that. The city was devoting that money.
Yeah, the article I read, they were concerned about how traffic routing might be it's Labor Day weekend, I believe. So it's causing a lot of traffic issues going around without having that bridge available.
Yeah, but it's not Memorial Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend in September, beginning of September. It would have been the Maryland race. This race coming up.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was getting my races confused. Yeah, sorry. Really, was it Labor Day?
Graham.
They're not putting the bridge done until after Labor Day. Yeah, it's a big project, I guess. In China, they have it done yesterday. So those kind of projects can't happen quickly if you have the right motivation. So
if you have 1 billion people to pull labor from, maybe.
Well, it seemed like highways being built in a day in China before. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, the Grand Premio, New York City, it's a 1.2 race. It's got some teams coming over from Europe, some development teams, but the Dukeneck, opposite Dukeneck development team, they've pulled Axel Lawrence and have him on the roster. Axel Lawrence, who won a stage at the Volta Catalonia, racing for the big Alpecin Dukeneck team, and also the reigning U23 road champion. So I'd say he's probably one of the big favorites of the race. A lot of Destiny development teams there as well, and I believe Axel Lee is the brother of Arnold Lee. Let's see, it shows here. He is actually a little bit older. Yeah, Arnold Lee is big brother. So Axel's 25, and Arno, who won just recently a couple races. Where did I see? He won the Tres Bro Leon race, which Riley Sheehan, who we talked about just our last podcast, had finished on the podium at the Frankfurt Eschborn race. Riley Sheehan was 4th at that race. That's got a lot of off-road, and that's a pretty good one-day race. So, yeah, but Arnold Lee is 22, but his older brother, Axel, is on the Loud Destiny development team racing in New York coming up the Sunday, which is, the same day as the U.S. Nationals road race. Or wait, is it on Saturday? I think the Primero Grand is on Saturday, the 18th. Or does it say here?
On the sheet, right? It just says 2024. It says
yeah.
A sheet, probably. Let's see. It says
wait, here it is. No, it's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday as well. So same day as the US Nationals road race. So two of the biggest races of the whole year are both on the same day. Biggest one-day races.
Yeah. So Project Excellence has got 3 Americans. Team Skyline has 1 American. Of course, all the CS Velo is Americans. Jameson Racing team is all but 1 is Americans. Team California, 3 Americans. Yeah, so there's some Americans, but there's I mean it's a tough call. I did look at the course a little more carefully now for the Nationals, and it does have 2 pretty good climbs. It centers along the river, and in the time trial, dead flat right along the river.
Charleston, West Virginia.
Yep, and the crit's a mile circuit. That's like a 6-corner crit.
So miles fairly long for a crit course, right?
I mean it's
pretty much. I mean, on the longer side, it's
on the average side. Yeah. But it's dead flat as well too, so it'll be a little bit. I think the one in Knoxville was longer than a mile, and it had a little bit.
It had some elevation change.
It might be different, but I know, and they said this, so I did take a little bit of a look at the Olympic road race course too, because they said they were going to try and mimic somewhat the courses, and because I'll be there too, I haven't looked at it yet, but I thought, well, how are you going to be able to see much? I knew it started and finished near the Eiffel Tower. It'd be easy to see that, but we wouldn't see anything else. But there are 3 circuits in the city of Paris with a pretty good climb.
Right. Yeah. Up near Sacré-Cœur Church, I believe, that area.
Yeah, so it's a short, steep climb too. So this course seemed like it was actually a little bit harder maybe than the Olympic course. But the Olympic course does make a big, huge loop outside the city with numerous climbs on it too. So it's more of a classics kind of course too. But they're trying to do something at the Nationals course to be somewhat similar to it. But whoever told you before was that you were interviewing somebody and they said only the time trial was going to qualify for an Olympic spot. That was confirmed in the article I was reading too. So
yeah, Alexei Vermillion article. Did you see that article? He found out his brother was getting married June 1st, which coincided with Unbound, so he had to restructure his schedule, but it allowed him to be able to train and prepare for the time trial, which is an automatic qualifier.
Alexei Vermillion's going to go for the time trial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes.
So he'll be up against Brandon McNulty and Nielsen Paula, so it's going to be a tough ask, but he's been putting a lot of effort. Time trial racing is a lot with how much time you put on the time trial bike, really, right? I mean,
and this one here too is a dead flat one. So if it has a couple corners that are there's just 2 turnarounds. That's it. So this one here, the one I was seeing, the Olympic one, has got a couple tight corners, but this one for U.S. Nationals is just out and back out.
I think it's 33.7 kilometers around that. So
both men and women are the same. Like something like that, 33, right around 33
and
kilometers.
that's actually going to be Thursday, I think, for the men, right?
Yeah,
they started today. Today's May 14th. I think the juniors race. I was looking on the USA Cycling website, but I didn't see a results. Things jump out to me when I went to look at it. So
I wonder too. Alexi's a little. I mean, McNulty is probably the biggest of those 3 riders, right? I mean, Alexi's not super big. It seems like the more powerful,
for flat time. Yeah.
Yeah, the bigger, more powerful guys like Filippo Ganna would be a big favorite in this course. As he would have won the one in Italy if it didn't have the final uphill, I think, too. So
but he has another chance later in the Giro with
which is again more favorable,
more flat. Yeah.
But that's the kind of rider I would think. So George Simpson, is he still racing? Because he's a big, powerful guy. It seems like this would be a course that he would favor him, and not to be McNulty necessarily, but certainly to place top 5 maybe. And he was top 5 before in the national time trial, wasn't he?
I believe so, but I follow him on Strava. I don't see a lot of rides going up on Strava, and I don't see him on. He was racing at one time, I think, on Project Echelon, but he's not now. So I haven't seen him on any roster. But it's interesting. The U.S. National Championships look like they have juniors under 23, which the juniors used to race with all the juniors. Now are the just 17, 18 juniors racing with the pro weekend. So it's kind of more in line with what they do in the rest of the world.
Yeah. They switched up. So the other juniors will race at an amateur national championship.
With the amateur, right.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it's better to have the juniors racing at the same time as a pro, but then having it now is a little difficult, I guess. I mean, Nielsen Paulus was able to probably get himself. He wasn't, we talked to him at Frankfurt, and he was actually surprised that he's still in pretty good shape after his long, quite kind of long recovery after his injuries this spring to get back going. But and then Brandon McNulty, of course, he's won a couple of time trials already. So yeah, so
and Will not going to be able to be there. He's busy right now, so
he's at the Giro.
I know.
Yeah. So we're going to get to the Giro. Giro would be like the biggest number one topic, but we kind of skirting around it a little bit, aren't we? Because
and Chloe Duggar, the defending champion for the women, will not be there. She's not going to be there. And then Quinn Simmons is not going to be there for the road race. So,
I think Colby Simmons will be there.
Yeah, but Corinne Lebecki though is going to be there to defend her crit title, and she did Speed Week. She did a few races at Speed Week too.
Yeah?
Yeah, the first time she was able to display the national championship jersey, which she won last year.
So, yeah, so that's good for her.
Yeah, I think and it must be because she's on EF now. So maybe if she was still on Jumbo, they might Lisa bike. So yeah. So then they not let her. With EF having a bigger presence in the United States, they probably let her come back, and that's where she grew up on crits too. So
yeah, and she's probably can add to that tally a humongous number of national championships. So
she'd like to, I'm sure.
I don't know. I just was thinking about the races and those that won a lot, and Mark Cavendish, I think, just passed Mario Cipollini with his win in the Tour of Hungary. Mark Cavendish got a win, and so he's like the 146 or somewhere around there, like the best sprinter of all time, maybe with him.
Yeah, winningest. I think some people have said the best sprinter, but I think it's the winningest sprinter. Yeah. So I'm not sure you'd have to I guess you'd have to figure out, what races all qualified as sprints. But he won Milan.
Is it really only just 146 wins? Because he's got 51 just between the Tour and the Giro. Like a third of his wins have been at the biggest Grand Tour.
Maybe I thought he said 161 or something like that, but
still it'd be close to a third of and 3 Vueltas. So that would be like a third of his wins are at Grand Tours. Is pretty phenomenal. He just wants one more is what he really wants. So his lead out, he got it all put together and got the win in Tour of Hungary. But
yeah, it was a good lead out too, a really good lead out.
But you saw who won the overall, right? Thibau Nys.
Yes, he won 2 stages. He won an uphill sprint, and then he won a reduced bunch sprint too. He's considered more of a sprinter, he says too. So
yeah, against a strong UAE presence with Diego Luisi and Mark Hirschi. So
yeah,
that's pretty impressive of Thibau.
Yeah, he's
nice. I'm sorry, I said Nice right. This is really nice is how it is. It's easy to say.
Yeah, I think that they were saying too that he was very gracious with the wins. He said that I beat these guys, but it was because the team put me in the right spot. He was like I'm not as good as these guys I beat. Basically, what he's saying. So he seems like he's a pretty humble guy.
He's just 21. He's only 21, which it seems like he's been racing a long time already. Just because of the name.
Yeah. I think maybe part of it he said was his genes thing too. I think that's what he said. Part of it was, I have really good genes. so
I don't think his father was that prolific on the road, right?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. I was wondering
because Thibau won the U23 road championship, European championship, road championship.
I was wondering how quickly he'd pass his dad on the road. I mean, he may never get him on the cyclocross, but
but he may have already on the road. I don't know. He got a tour. He won a stage at the Tour of Romandie this year already too.
Yeah.
So those are quality wins. I mean, Hungary not as much, but Romandie for sure.
Yeah, and Hungary's mid tier. It's not It's not.
Let's see. I was gonna see what's he gonna do next. Tour of Norway, and no Grand Tours probably this year.
No, he's young and not really
not fully focused on the road all the way totally, right? Because he still does a cyclocross schedule, but that didn't stop like Tom Pidcock. I mean,
Tom's
not that much older. Anyway, Well, Cavendish, I don't know if you want to say any more about him because I was reading an article how don't really know exactly how he's going, but other than that win, because he doesn't talk to the media much, and some of the races he is close to the finish. It doesn't look like he's going to win. He's sitting up, or it looked like he had some other problems. So
He's very much, and I get it too. They said that he's focused on winning, and if he's not going to win, then it seems like there's still
right. But the problem is with the team not getting the points they need and languishing at like 21st in the standings. So if he would have raced for more thirds, fourths, and fifths, he might have helped the team more. But if it wasn't going to suit his, I don't know. But then also they said maybe the team's not even going to exist after 2025 anyway. They've had financial issues, and the state of Kazakhstan decides, I guess, how long they want to support it, right? Or Vinokurov, how long? I don't know.
Although they did say that though he has a spot in the team open for him in 2025, but not as a racer. So they're continuing. They are expecting to continue on. Of course, next year is the year that's third year in the cycle.
Right,
So
right. That could be their last year, maybe.
maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think they've had questions before about their existence, and it seemed like the Kazakhstan government's always worked it either themselves or somebody who wants to be in good with the government ends up sponsoring them. So I think that I think there's a good chance they'll still exist, especially if they maintain.
If they drop down, or
if they drop down,
if they stay.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, 4 days of Dunkirk. We might as well hit all the little ones and then just concentrate on the Giro, right? 4 days of Dunkirk started today. It's kind of rainy, a little technical, messy sprint coming in to the finish. And I know
it's a 6-day race. You're right. The 4 days of Dunkirk is a 6-day race.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Kofidis got another win today.
Oh, good.
It was a Milan.
Yeah.
Milan Frettin.
Their first win of the year came in the Giro earlier this week, and now their second win of the season in less than a week later.
Yeah. So, sometimes you just need that breakthrough, right?
I guess even in different races, they're and I really like Cofidis just because they're the longest term sponsor.
Yeah.
Right in the what is considered the World Tour now, but they existed before the World Tour when it's called something else. So they're very much invested in cycling, and they don't get a huge return on their investment, but they still keep investing. So
no, let's see if Sam Bennett can get a win, which he should get a win this week. But they've made an investment in. They've had trouble with some of their sprinters not coming through, I think.
Yeah, but Bennett though's a quality sprinter still, and he won a non.
Well, actually, he's not on Cofidis, so I'm talking about decathlon. I'm just sure. I kind of made it sound like he was with Cofidis, but
yeah, he won a stage already this year. He's already won a race too. So, yeah,
he won this year.
He won something earlier this year. Yeah, like I don't know if he was in Colombia or something though.
It's not showing on his pro cycling stats.
Anyway. Okay, yeah. I'd be surprised. I'm bad with a lot of things, but I think I thought for sure I remembered him winning, but maybe not.
Yeah. So not a whole lot to talk about that race because the Giro is really the big thing.
Coquard's not? Is he still with
Brian Coquard?
Because I thought he got a win, and I thought he would have been a win for them. Now I feel like I have to look and see.
Okay.
We don't know where our conversation is going to go sometimes, so I'm not sure.
That's right. We don't look up there. Brian Coquard. If he did get a win, it wasn't anything worth to write about because it's not on his. He is with Cofidis.
Okay, I thought he got a win this year too.
No, he's been up there, but he's won. He's won 6 stages before at the Tour of Dunkirk. So, but he must not be there if their other sprinter won.
Yeah. Well, you think, yeah.
He's going to do the Tour de Suisse and then the Tour de France coming up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at all his results here. Tour Oman, he got second. One of the stages, stage 2. No, stage 1. And he was 4th in the Muscat Classic before that. He was 2nd in the Clásica Comunidad Valencia. One-day race. So, yeah. He's been up there a little bit, but 4th in one of the Alula Tour, stage 2. All right, that's enough of the side notes. So of course the Giro started in pretty dramatic fashion with the Jonathan Navarez kind of sneaking away with the win, where the Ecuadorian for Ineos was kind of secretly on top form, I guess. No one expected him to put
And
in that.
he's backed it up too since then. So he's
he got chased down in that sprint stage and Naples there with Tadej Pogacar trying to get his sprinter Milano up, and it effectively brought back Navarez before the finish there. But Pogacar just wasn't in good position on that last climb on stage 1, where he had to start, like he was not even the very front of the turn to start the climb, and so he had to make up ground and do it without any teammates, and that probably was just enough that, and as over-eagerness in the sprint maybe to not get that first pink jersey and perhaps lead from stage 1 all the way to the end of the Giro. But of course he made up for it on the second day, and the time trial was phenomenal, his ride, because I like the announcers, maybe because the announcers were so sure Filippo Ganna had such a nice time trial as a gap in his.
Yeah. And he has a really good climb too. He climbs really well. People were beating him on the climbing portion of it, but they weren't beating him overall. And so it seemed like his climb was strong enough that he would hold. And Pogacar was significantly behind at the first time check.
42 seconds and then 46 or something like that. It was around those numbers, I think. It could be the other way around, but yeah, that was quite a bit difference. But when I was watching the final climb, and they were following Geraint Thomas because he was not doing as well on the climb, and they wanted to follow him to the finish. And when I saw Pogacar really his time there, I was like, whoa. I mean, at first I didn't think, oh no, he's not going to be able to get it. But wow, when he's only like 2K away, I was thinking, oh yeah, I think this is possible. And man, he just crushed it and crushed souls that day too. But I don't know if you saw it. I mentioned to an email that I read the Bobby Julich how to prepare like for the time trial. These guys are how they're preparing for it, and he gave his predictions, and he nailed it. He put Pogacar, Ganna, and Sheffield as 1, 2, and 3. So
I saw you said that, but I didn't get a chance to look at the article.
Yeah, no, that was impressive that Bobby Julich got the. I mean, it's not crazy, hard maybe to pick but he hit it right on. So
the first two would be really hard. I don't think Magnus Sheffield would be for there. So he's a really good time trialist. He's not won U.S. nationals yet. I mean, the year I was there helping out the team, he was in the hot seat for a long time, and then the last rider to go, I think was the last rider to go.
Is that Joey Roscoff when he won?
No. That was when Jaco Lulu.
Lawson Craddock won.
Lawson Craddock won, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny too because Jim Miller would coach both those guys. So Jim Miller, the director of athletics for USA Cycling, coaches both Lawson Craddock and Magnus Sheffield. So he was all excited when Magnus took over the lead, and then all excited again when Lawson
Craddock won.
And Lawson's older. He had his wife and kids were there, and I think at the time Magnus was 19 and he had his parents there, so that was exciting too. But yeah, it was. But anyway,
more chances, and he's really focused a lot on the time trial. So
he's a good time trialer for sure.
He's going to be even better. Yeah, and I mean, he's been active in some breakaways along with Kevin from Arca. Has been active as well. Larry Warbess is riding really well too. He had a solid time trial.
He did, yeah. He was like, I want to say 17th, just off the top of my head, something like that, wasn't he? He was certainly. At one point, I saw that he was 17th, and I think it was towards the end. But maybe he ended up being 18th though, because then Pogacar would have bumped him down one more spot.
23rd.
23rd, okay. But that's a pretty darn good time trial for Larry, who's not a huge time trialist. And their team continues to do well today, even. So they got another
15th win of the season for Decathlon Azure Le Mondial. They got a new sponsor, new bike, and new kit, and they're just flying. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's interesting because Christian Vande Velde was talking. He apparently talks to Larry pretty regularly, And Larry was saying that he really likes the bikes, and he's just not just like, oh, it's a dramatic difference, because all the bikes are really good. But he said there's a lot of little things about them that make it nice to ride. And so you get new equipment. Sometimes it's hard to get used to it. Sometimes it's a little better, sometimes a little worse. But you got to ride what they give you anyway. But apparently, I don't think Christian. I think it was a confidential conversation that Christian would not have said if he said he didn't like the bikes. But since he said he did like them, that he was willing to share that with us. So yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty fantastic. So it was the twin brothers racing in the Giro for decathlon team, and I'm trying to get their name because Parente. I think they're twins. Well, they're definitely brothers, but I thought they were twins.
The one was a year older, but maybe not. Anyways, the guy that won today,
too. Valentine won today. And Aurelian won last year a stage. But it was Valentine's first pro victory, and he'd been finishing pretty strongly in a lot of races. I was surprised. Oh, it's his first pro victory. But yeah, you're gonna say how small, how petite he is. He's a good climber that has a quick finish.
114 pounds. Yeah, 52 kilos. So he's super thin and not super tall. So yeah, and he was with Roman Bardet at the very end.
Yeah, one of his heroes.
Exactly. Yeah, he said he grew up watching him do well in the tour and stuff. So yeah, that's got to make Roman Bardet feel a little bit old for sure. But
he's been riding well. I mean,
he's riding well, and
he moved up a lot with today's.
Yes, move. Today was a good GC move for him today. I think he's top. Is he fifth now? He got up quite a bit. It's been a busy day, so I'm just kind of flying by.
Yeah, so the Van Rysel bikes in the article said riding the rocket ship Van Rysel bikes. Is rocket ship just a description of the bikes, or do they have is it their model, the Van Rysel rocket ship? I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Apparently everything's going well with the team and getting all those wins this year, so that's good for French cycling, right?
Yeah, Bardet's 7th, but he moved up 7 spots today.
Yeah, but still too far back. So I guess the big question, thing we're not talking about so much is which everybody before. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Pogacar is the best rider, and he's going to have a great chance to win the Giro. How is he going to win it? Is he going to waste too much energy as he tries to go for the double with winning also the Tour de France? And seems like he's doing it pretty smartly. I mean, Saturday's uphill finish might have been a stage where he could have tried to attack and win and get more time, but he's got 240 right now on Danny Martins, which he's done phenomenally. Had a great time trial too, so that's a little bit more not as expected to see him doing so well for Bora Hansgrohe. I was thinking back to the beginning of the year when he was doing well at the Algarve race in Portugal, where he won the overall, I think, previously. But this year he was beating Remco Evenepoel on the mountaintop sprints.
Yeah.
But it looks like when it comes down to the sprints in this Giro, Tadej Pogacar is faster than he is, right?
Tadej's pretty fast in a sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you never know too. I mean, Evenepoel last year looked like he was going to walk away with it too, and then he got sick.
COVID, yeah.
So
anything can definitely happen for sure. Yeah.
So it seems like a foregone conclusion as long as something doesn't go wrong. So
yeah, which is fine. I mean, they say, does that make it not as exciting? I mean,
every day though, right? So I didn't watch any of the stages start to finish. I just don't have the time right now to do that. But I watched the end of every stage.
Yeah, some of them have been slow boils, like pretty slow moving, not so much happening. But definitely the last parts of the race have been really exciting. Yeah.
Every single day, right? Yeah, even the days that ended up in sprint finishes, they weren't for sure going to be sprint finish, until sometimes 25, 30 meters before the finish line even. So
right, just the one that Navarez was off the front, Pogacar was pulling back him and didn't get his rider across the line, but Olaf Koy got his first Grand Tour stage win, and for Visma Lease bike, which has suffered already losses of Robert Hissink and Christophe Laporte not on the racing, and now he's sick and he didn't start.
Probably got sick after he
got a fever on the rest day, so that's crazy.
So they have Uterbrooks. Is there
Keanu Uterbrooks, right?
Yeah, 5th place
best young rider.
Yeah, investing on, but he lost time today though, so he got his lead from Tadej cut in half. So
and
now
Tiberi's riding really well.
he is riding
And
really
he's
well.
also a young rider too, so that'll be a competition to be
Yes,
following.
they're the two fighting for the white jersey, and it's really close too. So, and Uterbrook said he's not concerned about the white jersey. He's just going to try and finish as high up as he can. So he says he's not concerned about the he's going for GC. Not concerned about a stage win. Not concerned about the white jersey. Just going to try and finish as high as he can. But if he's got to be thinking that if he does that, he'll
take care of itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The KOM though, the riders that are going in breaks to try to get KOM points is pretty meaningless in a way, I guess, because Pogacar's having all those with those wins. There's always a lot of points at the top of the mountaintop finishes, so he's pretty comfortable in that. But Milan in the sprinters jersey, that's been pretty good. And then I don't know where you see it, but they returned this year with the Inner Giro competition. Can you explain it? Because I think I've heard an explanation, but I really still don't know what it is.
I think it's a daily prize too, not necessarily. I don't know if it's an overall prize as well, but they talked about today someone winning the Inner Giro today, and then every day having an Inner Giro competition. So I think it may be something that's a daily prize for the day, and I'm not sure if it's a cumulative win or not. But a lot of the sprinters are having trouble. I heard Tim Miller.
Well, there's a lot of great sprinters there too, but it's been more evenly divided in the wins, hasn't it?
I heard Tim Miller crashed in the time trial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was nursing injuries.
Yeah,
and then a couple guys.
Miller got the first sprint win, and then Milan got the next one, and then the third one didn't happen because the breakaway made it, right?
Yes, yeah.
That was what Lopez, from Movistar. And then Coy won the one where they just barely caught Neveres. Neveres won that first stage, which wasn't going to be a sprint anyway.
No.
Two other hilltop, Pogacar won, and Pogacar won the time trial. Is that all the stages? So Pogacar, he's only won 3 out of 10 stages now, which is putting his winning percentage way down for the year after coming in winning 7 of 11 races. But
yeah, he's definitely hurt his winning percentage, and he probably will. Like today, they didn't try and catch the break. The break was, even though it had some people that were threatening 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place, at one point, Bardet was second on the road. So he was up to 2nd place on the road. And so other teams, were all being threatened, but Pogacar was still safe. So,
right.
And he said too, I've read a couple of times, he is looking towards the Tour, and he doesn't want to go crazy. He says everything he's doing does have the Tour kind of in the background too. So I don't think he's going to, he could win probably by 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes perhaps, but there's no reason to.
No, not necessary.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to try.
Right. I think the first stage where his team was trying to, set him up, and they seemed to struggle then at the end, and without having the power to position him where he needed to be on that last climb, made me wonder a little like, oh, they're going to have a long Giro, especially, if he were in the jersey right away. But they've seemed to manage pretty well since then, especially like Saturday where Stakelans and Bjerg were saying, hey, let's pull back the breakaway to go for the win. And then he felt like he had to reward them for doing it, but they wanted to do it. It's kind of like up to them. Like they would have let the break go, but they wanted to do the work. And that means, not giving away the jersey but they still would have had to control things.
Yeah.
More or less, but they haven't had to do as much maybe work as we would need to, or not as much that's going to wear them out so much so far.
And Rafa Micah's riding really well too. So
right. He came in a little sick, I heard too, at the beginning.
But he's certainly, although they're saying too that now he's this last man standing before Pogacar takes off, but he's also not doing super long turns. So he's doing very violent short turns that kind of like really set up a sprint, because for him to sprint off, because if you're going from a rested elite group, then there are much more guys who are going to have energy to go with you. But if you go after, Rafa Micah puts in like a 1 minute even really hard effort, then the separation happens much more quickly.
I'm just reading about the Inner Giro. hadn't been around since 2005. It was introduced in '89. Riders like Miguel Indurain, Magnus Backstedt, Phil Anderson have won it before. So it's a mini, instead of acting like a mini GC, there's the Inner Giro arch midway through the race. So they're acting as a finish liners for riders in the Inner Giro competition. They will then, of course, continue riding to the finish. Yeah, but the first 8 riders through will gain points 12 down to 1 for the overall GC. So they say it's for a race for those that aren't necessarily sprinters or mountaintop finishers. So
just an opportunist.
Yeah, this should make it slightly confusing, a tempting target for riders vying for that Ciclamino points jersey for the sprinters. But it says as well as those in-race bonuses, the winner of the Inner Giro will receive a cash prize, a safe driving course courtesy of the classification sponsor, Sarah Assicazurazioni.
Safe driving course.
Yeah. And a flower-shaped trophy in the form of the same company's Tulabesque logo.
I'm guessing a safe driving course might be on a motor speedway where you're going 120 miles an hour, not or 220 miles an hour maybe, not like a safe driving course riding through the city streets of Rome or something. So, which you probably need a pass to do that. So,
sure. Well, anyway,
I don't see. So they also see they do have the e-bike race is still happening.
Yes,
but
I heard about that.
Max doing it this year. I'm seeing so. So Max led that for a while, and first he did it for RAI, and then he did it for the Italian Cycling Federation, and then I don't know who's doing it this year, but that is another competition going on too. I'm not sure who's winning.
Well, so far the weather's been great, no problems with the weather, but the weather up at the Stelvio Pass, unfortunately, snow and then warmer weather and chance of avalanche, and they're not able to clear the road in time for the finish that will be up, or the time they'll pass there, which is like a week for
early in the stage though too. So it was going to be a situation in which it wasn't going to be a decisive climb in the race.
So they've changed it. Yeah.
And it sounds like actually it's a little bit longer now, and I'm not sure if it's more climbing or not, but it's still hard. There's going to go into Switzerland and then come back down rather than going up the Stelvio. So it's disappointing for us just because it's such an iconic climb, but if it was going to be the finish climb, then it'd be much more dramatic in terms of an impact on the race.
Right. So sprint stage tomorrow, maybe? Is that right? Classics? We got a classic sprint. This weekend will be the climbing days again, right?
Yeah, it's a ton of climbing at the beginning, and then it's really flat for the second 60% of it. Yeah.
So it's going to be breakaway guys that can, climb a little bit, trying to drop sprinters that can't climb, sprinter teams trying to catch back on. So it should be another day not for UAE to have to worry about a lot, because the sprinters teams will want to be taking over and pursuing whoever's up front.
Yeah, there should be a day off for UAE just to make sure that Pogacar stays out of trouble. The next day though looks really tough. It's a really lumpy course, so it's going to have not a sprinter's course unless you're
more of a classics kind of course.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So although Ewing, was in Ewan was in
you just want to talk about the basketball player, Patrick Ewing, right? That's what throws you off there.
He was still left over when Milan won the other day, and that was when Coy won the other day, and there was only a couple sprinters left there too. They dropped quite a few guys too. Right. So
Caden Groves, he's one that seems like he could get over the climbs, and Alpes and Dukunek have been working for that, but it hasn't panned out yet for that.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know if the sprinters will just take that day off, or if they'll maybe try and position the sprinters who can climb. And Milan, he can sprint pretty well too. So he can
climb pretty well, yeah.
For big guys.
So maybe Milan and Groves will make it to the line and not have. Well, Fabio Jakobsen, he's been having probably the hardest time, most difficult time getting up the climbs, right?
Yeah, it's struggling. So
yeah.
So it'll be for sure. Just the way it's been raced, it's been exciting to watch. The end of the stages. I don't really watch the highlights that much, but I just watch the last 20-30K or so, and they've been fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, the weather's been good, but maybe a little bit of rain could have helped the pollen count or something, because I think Tadej Pogacar, they said he was sniffling some, maybe suffering a little bit from some allergies, but not really affecting his performance, at least so far.
Yeah. He's still able to do fine. So before we get too far away from other things too, I gotta tell you, the results are in from the junior race.
Oh, you found it. Okay.
Championships. Ashlyn Berry won the time trial for the
wow, at 16.
16 years old.
Is he race age 17 then, or can you race as a junior 17, 18 before you get 17 or not?
I'm not sure. I think he only won by 3 seconds though too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So but again, dead flat course is going to be more evenly matched in that too. So not as much time differential.
Yeah.
In dead flat course. So, but David LaPerry was from Hot Tubes, who's also been racing really well in other places too. And then 5 seconds back, Noah Strife. So it's pretty tight. Then 6 seconds, 12 seconds, 7 seconds, 16. So yeah, it just shows that being that dead flat kind of course too. And then we should say the women's winner too. Not as much of a name as Ashlyn Berry is going to be. Amazing. He wants to do it. But yeah, Linda Kusik was she won by a lot more. She beat Alicia White by 32 seconds and Helena Jones by 43 seconds. So she had a more dominating victory on the women's side for sure than Ashlyn Berry had, which is actually good because Ashlyn Berry is supposed to be this amazing talent who's going to take on the world pretty soon. And then if you are close to him, that means we've got a bunch of other really guys.
Good talent too, right?
Yeah,
very good. All right. Yeah, well, I was already looking ahead to our birthdays list, and it's, I guess I looked before it turned 6 o'clock Eastern time, our time here, because once it clicks over past 6 o'clock p.m., it's past midnight in Europe, and we get the next days, we get the May 15th. So I lost the guy on front for today, the 14th, a Spanish guy, I think, he had like 15,000 PCS points, and now I can't remember. He was 67 years old. Now I can't remember his name because he's not on the list anymore because we got the 15th of May birthday list. But he had won a lot he won the overall the Vuelta.
Yeah.
You would know his name probably. Anyway, we're not gonna be able to say it.
46-year-old now, so
yeah.
Constantino Zabella. And he's not huge. He's barely.
No, there's not a lot of points really.
Yeah. So yeah.
But he won the Sebastian Classic though. He's won a lot in Spain. Yeah. Oh, he's third overall at Paris-Nice. So yeah. So do we cover everything up to now? We can do our birthdays and sign off and get you back to your film production that you're doing with your son Matthew, who's getting ready to graduate from high school this year. Congratulations to Matthew.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, trying to finish up the last requirements. So he has an independent study that they're doing, and they need to have a trailer done for the movie that they're currently making. They finished a movie first semester, and they're starting this one now. So they've been working hard. And they're using plushes, and they've got actually costumes for the plushes. It's pretty good. So.
All right, very good. Well, just looking at the list, wow, the first active rider is Cédrine Kerboal, the French woman for shares of it. Oh, we're going to birthdays. We didn't mention anything with the SD Works Demi Vollering dominance of where she hadn't won anything in the spring. Then she steamrolls the races all in Spain where.
Yeah, she didn't do anything the first couple of stages, and then she just took
the last. Yeah, because we talked about EF Education's great start with Alison Jackson and Kristen Falk going, but Demi Vollering demolished everyone in the end, right? And then she won the Zulia race as well, and I saw that she was linked to going to FDJ next year.
Oh yeah,
she is, which would be just good for cycling to spread around some of that talent. So. But that I just thought of Demi Vollering looking at the first active birthday celebrator on the 15th of May being a woman rider that's 23.
Yeah. We also didn't say about the assault on Mount Mitchell next Monday.
Assault on Mount. Yeah, that's a big one day right up at the top of Mount Mitchell that you're the defending. You get a number one. Did they give you the number one number? To ride on?
I asked if I got a free entry, and they said no. So I don't think I get any deference in any way. So.
Man. Yeah. Kilian Julian Kyer, 36, celebrating on the 15th tomorrow. Julian.
Trey Hedgecock, 26 also.
All right.
So
Christopher
26.
Bagg, 45.
Yeah. Americans.
Yeah, Nathaniel Ryan. Happy birthday, Nathaniel, 24. And Deidre York.
That's all I got on my list.
Yeah, that's all I have too. Yeah, we're gonna just watch and learn the rest of the Giro. Get together probably not till after the Giro's over. It's been out really a few months since I've been on vacation, but I'm heading on vacation close to Italy, just across the Adriatic Sea in Croatia. So
you're on vacation now in the middle of May, and then you're going to Portugal on basically a sabbatical for
beginning of June.
Yeah, so in 2 weeks.
To stay there through the beginning of the Vuelta. It's going to start in Portugal this year.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get a trip to go to the Tour de Suisse, but I don't think I'm going to make that. But hopefully I can make it to Nice, meet up with you at the end of the tour, and maybe in Paris too for the Olympics. I've got those circled on my calendar to try to get to. So, all right, it's great to catch up. The Giro it's just a question of any bad luck or anything happened to Tadej, which will
derail him.
Derail him, and how much he can kind of coast, if you want to say, in a way, to not expend too much extra energy and help him to be really fit to go in strong at the Tour, which is still, we don't know anything about Jonas Vingegaard. We know Roglic and Evenepoel are training, but it's going to be a lot of question marks as of yet. Actually, they're within a week or so, they were going to be able to determine if he's on track, I think, what I heard.
Yeah, I saw that Vingegaard wouldn't race unless he's 100%. So
interesting, yeah.
What's 100%, I guess, though.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Randy. Great to talk to you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.